Hi guys, welcome to Time Book Lover. Today we're going to talk about book 3, part 1 of the Di Lorenzo series. So this book is called The Ones Left Behind. This book is written by Blue Saffire. So if you remember the Di Lorenzo story, mafia story, is with Dante, Dario, and Gio. Gio's the older brother, Dante and Dario are the twins. So this book is basically the last really books in the series, but this book is a two-part book. It is an amazing, mind-blowing, aha moment book. This book is amazing. So if you read the other two books, which is Dario, Unexpected Lovers, and My Best Friend's Wish, with Dario's my best friend's wish and Unexpected Lovers with Dante. If you read both those books, you realize that there's some bits and pieces that were missing in those books. However, when you read this one, The Ones Left Behind, which is Gio's book, he's the older brother, some of those pieces are answered. Not all, but some. And it is mind-blowing. So the main characters in this book are Gio, Nyla, and Jace. Gio, Nyla, and Jace are best friends. They've been best friends since they were young. Jace basically went through a trauma when he was younger. Both his parents were deceased, which we found out in the other books, and in Nyla book, and we also know that Nyla parents were deceased, and we found out that as well in the other book. So all three came together, grew up in the trauma of losing family members, loved ones, a lot of deceit, a lot of hurt, a lot of betrayal, a lot of pain, and they still were bonded together. I think they started around age 8. They were together since then. This book is the backstory of how they become them. Because in Dario's and Dante's book, they were already adults and they were going back and forth with a lot of stuff. But this book is from how they start when they were younger till they get up to the age of where they're in their 40s. And it's a lot of information going on. So we get to find out the real reason why Ava went away. We get to find out the real reason why Ricardo is getting away with so much. We get to learn more information on Aunt Denise and Daddy Elijah. We get to know more stories about Uncle Lucas. Who else? And then Ricardo and his friends, and then the grandsons, we get to know more about them as well. This book really gives you a lot of the backstory that we were missing. So we were like, oh, that makes sense. And you're like, oh, okay. Now you understand what's really going on. But there's still more leading up to it, because in book 2, that's part 2 that's coming soon, we get to find out really why things happen between Jace, Nyla, and Gio, because there was a lot of progress there, and there was a lot of back and forth, because Gio is a typical alpha to the T. I think Uncle Lucas, if it wasn't Uncle Lucas, it was Ava that described each person character as to per se. Gio is the boss, Jace is a people pleaser, and Nyla loves them both. So they really have a dynamic going on. And in their trouble, there's so much drama, so much hurt, so much betrayal, but at the same time, you know, there's still a love there and a connection. Gio is fighting something that he's already a part of, and he doesn't want to accept it. You know, denial. That's what he's in. He's in denial. And he's trying to be, oh, I'm this and I'm that and blah, blah, blah. You can't tell me what to do. I can't accept it. But if Nyla say jump, he might question it, but then he will still jump. You know what I mean? So he has a lot of inner turmoil that he needs to deal with and stuff like that. We get to read more about Nano and why he did the things he did, why he acted the way he acted, things like that. Because it was like, okay, but why is Nano doing this, and why is this one getting away with this? And then Ava came back, and it was so much. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. I get the dynamics. I get the different characters. I get the whole plot, because there were really some back things that's working behind the scenes that were really out of Gio's control. And even though it took years When I say it took years, it took almost 20 years to get this in the making. And at the same time, Gio, Jace, and Nyla, their relationship suffered. It growed, it suffered, it growed, it suffered. It come to a point was that the back and forth was a bit much because I wanted them to progress, but Gio was so hard-headed, Nyla was so sweet, and Jace just want everybody to be happy. It was just like, oh my God, my heart breaks for Jace, my heart breaks for Nyla, and I want to slap Gio upside his head, but at the same time, as he says, he's doing what's best for everyone, but he doesn't realize that doing what he thinks is best is a sacrifice for his relationship. And when he realized that, it was too late. So I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to expect in the next book. Sorry, I really don't know what to expect in the next book because there's a lot more things that need to be answered. A lot more things that need to be answered. And I'm like, ooh, this is going to be interesting because now we have to like put things slowly in motion. Like, okay, what's going to happen with Gio? What's going to happen with Dario? Why, these are the characters that come into play, the dolls, the doll master, the curator. There is so many things going on. Like, we can't, I know, I'm going to say we, but I can't wait for the end game because it looks like it's going to be it's a show. It's really a show because when you really read the book and find out what happened to Emil, find out what happened to Beth, find out what happened to, there was some stuff with Gwen that we don't know yet. Aunt Denise / Gwen. Stuff going on there that we don't know. So I'm trying to read into it to see if I can figure it out. But there's a lot going on. Overall, I think Blue Saffire did a fabulous job with this book. The part 1 was on point. The backstory was needed for the characters. The build-up was needed for the characters because when book 2 comes, it's just going to be a full-on show. Like, it's going to be non-stop drama, non-stop everything. And I can't wait for it because it's going to be intense. It's going to be sweet, but it's going to be intense. I see it coming already. So thanks you guys for watching. Check out book 1, 2, and 3, part 1, if you haven't read any of them yet, really and truly. And I would say really read part 1. No, because, okay, the reason why I would say read part 1, which is Gio's book, if you read Gio's book and then you go back and read Dante and Dario's book, some of the questions are answered, if that makes sense to you. To me it does, but do what you like. Anyway, leave her a review. Thanks for watching. Bye.